friends, and welcome back to my channel. Can you guess what video I'm doing? Yes, this is a review, demo, and swatch video of the new Morphe 350 Second Nature palette. I know, how could I? I fell for it. All I can say is that I'm happy I bought this palette. I love my eyes, and I know it's so quick to say that I love it, but just from the shadows that I used, I thought they blended very well. The color payoff is amazing. The saturation is there. And yes, I will come back on here to try other shades because I know I applied very popular ones. Needless to say, the ones that I applied today, I'm very happy with, and I'm happy with how they turned out. Before we move on, getting into detail, if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and click that notification bell. And without further ado, if you want to see how I got this eye look, how the shadow blends, what the swatches are, then keep on watching. I already have my eyebrows and complexion on, so we're gonna zip right into the eyeshadow palette. Fresh out the box! I mean, I took it out, swatched, and put it back in just for video's sake. I know, so shady. You see the design is completely different from previous Morphe boxes. You got fancy new fonts, you got the name of the palette on here, and some nice designs. I appreciate about how they package these is that the actual palette not only enclosed in the box, but is also wrapped in bubble. So you have this bubble sleeve to protect the shadows from breaking while in transit. Here you have the actual palette. I was reading some specs on this. It's a 12-month expiration date. It is made in China. If you have a problem with that, don't get this palette. I don't think any Morphe shadows are made in the United States or in Italy. Correct me if I'm wrong. I can look into that and put updated info down below. 56.2 grams of product. That comes out to 1.98 ounces total. I believe 35 shades? 35, oh, there's sleeve. 35 whopping shades for $23. Or as Jackie Ina likes to say, dollars. I love Bonnie Jackie. Jackie. Another new feature of the product is how it comes with the color names on this protection sleeve, which is helpful. I mean, not that it matters if you're just going in and doing your own eyes and you just know what colors you love to use or will use. Guess this is not necessary, but for those that are, I don't know, doing videos and tutorials on film, I think very helpful when demoing or doing a how-to. Still doesn't have a mirror, but that would be a mighty big mirror, so I'm not too bummed about that either. And it's interesting because I made sure that I saw as many reviews as possible before this shadow palette came out, and a lot of beauty bloggers had said that it was very similar to the formula in Jaclyn Hill's palette. And when that came out with the new formula and the different pressing methods, I'm like, they can't possibly go back to their old formula if they launch new palettes. So that's why I'm like, I'm not really surprised that, yeah, they eventually changed the formula for any other palettes they were going to launch after Jaclyn's. And let me hold on, I think I have the old one. Wait a second. Here is the old Morphe 350 and here is the current new 350-2. Pretty much the same sized encasing, but you see the font is very different. Here are the palettes side by side, and you see that the original 350 is significantly cooler looking than the current, because this on its own you're like, oh my god, it's so warm, and then you look into this and you're like, oh no, that's warmer. These neon-y orangey shades in this row I've seen outstanding results with, and I'm kind of sad to have this palette because I wish I could have seen into the future and just know the 3502 was coming, and I should have known. I mean, that's the makeup industry. They're always coming out with the newest and the baddest and the bestest, because I rarely use this, and I was on the fence about buying Second Nature because I'm like, are you going to use that since you have all these Morphe palettes that are just sitting in your drawer? You know, Morphe is just tied with so much controversy in terms of their limited this, whatever that, their collaboration with Jaclyn, and the fact that they were launching that palette with new packaging. Everyone's up in arms about it because you're like, I spent $38 for cardboard, and now you all are relaunching it with plastic with the label card. Yeah. Let me know if you are going to buy that palette from Ulta, because I think that's where it's being sold. I don't remember if the relaunch with new packaging is also being sold on Morphe's website, but let me know down below. That's another video, that's another conversation. Let's get back to Second Nature. I'm sorry to digress. I did swatch some of these and they are significantly more buttery than the original 35.0 for sure. And the color arrangement is outstanding. You have the hot neon orange and red, but then you still have your neutral brothers and sisters in the mix. And the color that the original 35.0 didn't have was just a basic matte black, which I think is one of the top selling points with this palette, because you got your warms, you got your warm neutrals, the shimmers, but then you got the black. You got the black, so you can deepen as much as you want and really alter the look in a way that other deeper shades cannot, like a black can. So I know I'm talking too much. Let's get started. I'm sorry. Let's go. Let's go. Hello. First, we're applying the shade Universal. I'm taking a Dose of Colors blending brush with Universal to my crease. This, I guess, will be a great beige shade for my skin tone, but it kind of shows up a tiny bit, so very light transition shade on me. Now in the shade Ablaze, taking a Morphe M505 brush with that shade. Yeah, these shadows definitely are blending nicer and more smooth than the original. Like, look at that blend. Damn it! I knew that I would not be disappointed with its performance. So that's that. Now with the shade Heat, same blending brush, now more towards the outer edge. And I'm also taking this to the inner third. I love how this is blending already. This is good. Taking the original blending brush to smooth out the edges. Now with the shade Fire, applying that with a Luxie 231. This is a really nice neon orange. Like, it's gonna give the overall eye look a lot of punch. Applying that shade to the inner third as well. I want to add a touch of depth, so I'm going in with the shade Brunette, just with a smaller dome brush to be more precise. This is a Morphe E18. Right at the lash line. And bring it up from there. Oh, that added depth really fast. Now with 231, I'm applying the same matte shades I have on my lid to my lower lash line. Taking my Dose of Colors brush again with Universal to smooth out the edges. For my lids, I think I'm going to combine Sauce and Ruby. And I want to mention also, during the time I applied these mattes, I experienced no fallout. We're good. Taking Sauce on my pinky, inner third combining with Ruby. I'm taking Ruby on a shader brush with some Max Fix Plus. I'm going back to where I applied it with my finger and now to add a little more punch. Feel like whatever was on that brush had a purple hue. Transforming my eye look right now, but you know it is all good. I'm gonna roll with it. Taking a Dose of Colors pencil brush with the shade Sauce, I'll apply this to my lower lash line between the matte shades. And I also spritzed it with Max Fix Plus. Now with the shade Pure, using the same pencil brush, I wiped it, and now I'm going to apply that to the inner corner. Now Max Extended Play to the lower lashes. Also applying Pure to my brow bone. For blush, I forgot what the name is. This one's in the shade B308, and then I'm also highlighting with H106. Highlight first. Do a little buff buff. Now going in with the peach blush. For lips, using my Too Faced Melted Liquid Lipstick in Chocolate Honey. Mixing it with a little bit of the Hourglass, these new lipsticks that I don't know what they're called. I totally forgot. I think this is I've Never or I Will Never. I'll write it down below, but just to add a little bit of peachiness to the center of my lip. And that's the finished look. What do you guys think? I love how this is really fiery red. I mean, whoa. And the way the mattes blend with each other and they didn't look muddy, and I understand there are shades in here that could potentially look muddy. This row right here can be questionable, so I'll come back on here and do another eye look using those shades just to see how they blend with each other and how they wear throughout the day. I also will come back on here a couple of hours later. I'm gonna run some errands, do some things to see how the eyeshadow holds up, because I'm very curious to see that maybe not only did the blendability improve, but maybe the longevity as well. But as far as this eye look is concerned, it was a joy to make. The way the shadows the shadows worked effortlessly with each other and with my brushes, and I look forward to using this palette again. And I'm also looking to see how long the shimmers hold up, because typically shimmers don't last as long as mattes do. Maybe these will. We shall see. It is going to get darker, so I will be in front of my ring light later on just to see how the shadows hold up. With that said, I'm gonna go out, do my thing, and I'll be back. Hey fam, it is around 9:30 p.m. I believe I applied this around maybe 3:34 p.m. We're looking around 5 to 6 hours of wear, although ideally I would have liked to record this maybe like 12 hours, you know, my usual work days. I was off today, so I didn't have that spread of time, and I was not early enough in applying these shadows, but I thought maybe coming in after 5 to 6 hours would have been sufficient enough in coming to a conclusion that these shadows have really nice wear. Here's a close-up. Of course, my inner corner highlight wore off because I went in to take out my eye poop like I usually do. It's a bad habit. But you see also that the mattes have their vibrancy still. The shimmery shade, I believe, Ruby, I think it is, the one that I applied here to this part of my lid, maybe, well, no, it still looks punchy, and so does the orange shade. The orange shade on my inner third as well as on my lash line. So I really loved how these wore and how they lasted, and the punch of color is still present. It looks blended, it doesn't look muddy, it doesn't look faded. So I will definitely come back on here using other shadows and will update my description box to tell you how they last, like on a 10 to 12 hour day. Thank you friends so much for watching. I hope this video helped, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And until then, I'll see you on here again with another Get Ready With Me tutorial, demo, or review. Take care, and I'll see you again soon.